USA Radio News with Tim Berg.
President Trump reacts to special counsel Robert Mueller's testimony before the House and Intel committees.
The Democrats had nothing, and now they have less than nothing. And I think they're going to lose the 2020 election very big, including congressional seats, because of the path that they chose.
Although top Democrats, including Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi, have a little bit of a different opinion.
10 instances of obstruction, yes. No exoneration.
A federal judge gives initial backing to the Trump administration's bid to cut off Central American asylum claims, allowing new rules released in mid-July to remain in effect while courts weigh a legal challenge against them. The new rule imposes restrictions on individuals seeking asylum in the United States if they pass through a third country on their way to the border between the U.S. and Mexico. And you're listening to USA Radio News. The FTC handed Facebook a $5 billion fine over their privacy policy and handling of information from consumers. Facebook improperly handled the data of 87 million users. A statue of the person known only as a white woman killed during the civil rights movement of the 1960s has been unveiled in the Motor City. USA Radio Network's Chris Barnes reports.
Detroit native Viola Liuzzo was shot and killed by the Ku Klux Klan 54 years ago as she was driving black civil rights workers in Alabama. The statue, dedicated in a Detroit park that bears her name, depicts her as walking barefoot and carrying her shoes, taking steps away from a Klan hood that lies on the ground behind her. Among those in attendance for the dedication was Susan Bro, the mother of Heather Heyer, who was killed while protesting peacefully at the 2017 Unite the Right rally in Charlottesville, Virginia.
And you're listening to USA. News out of the House Freedom Caucus is that they oppose a budget deal backed by President Donald Trump, calling the raise of spending by $320 billion unsustainable and irresponsible. The group of Republicans, led by Congressman Chip Roy of Texas, sent a letter to the president saying he should veto the bill because it's fiscally irresponsible. Owners of cannabis companies told the Senate committee they're forced by federal law to operate as a cash-only business. More from USA Radio Network's Wendy King.
Having a business that's cash only makes it difficult to pay taxes, and, of course, it also creates safety concerns. But an opponent of marijuana legalization said changing banking laws would allow the industry to vastly expand marijuana sales at the expense of health concerns. The Senate Committee on Banking, Housing, and Urban Affairs debated the challenges for cannabis firms to use the banking system. Although 46 states and the District of Columbia allow some form of cannabis sales and use, it's still illegal under federal law. Senators Cory Gardner of Colorado and Jeff Merkley of Oregon have proposed a bill to protect banks that service cannabis-related businesses in states where it is legal. It would provide the cannabis industry access to the banking system. Because of federal law, there are barriers for the cannabis industry to obtain any financial services. For USA Radio News, I'm Wendy King.
Thank you, Wendy. For USA Radio News, I'm Tim Berg.